Bien Tejano, the overstaying ambassador of the Philippines to Papua New Guinea.
Overstaying.
Nagbulan ng mga taga Papua New Guinea dahil 25 años, di ba? 22. Let me first greet our elders and leaders. I would like to say good evening to Pastor Elzer Bacos, President of North Central Mindanao Conference, Dr. Hope Aperocho, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Elder Roger Adel, President of South Philippines Union Conference of the Seventh-day Adventists, Dr. Gladden Flores, President of the Mount Mountain College, Pastor Roland Salidio, Principal of MDC Academy, Dr. Medicario Renona, Chairperson, Secretary Education Department, and of course, Madam Ambassador, ang among cook sa Fort Mosby. And I would like to uh, give special recognition to a childhood friend nga nakaasawa o taga Mountain View College, si June Monta. We grew up together. I'm a bit older than him. We grew up together. We grew up in one village in Lagos, Cotabato. At Bang. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Madam Tejano. Ma'am, sorry. Going back to June, actually, we grew up together. Ang ilang balay at bangsang balay. My late father was a teacher. So is so was my mother. My mother is still alive. Uh, so we grew up together in one poor village. Si June belongs to a family very close to us. Murag igsuon ng ulit. Kauban ako din ng tuba na doon na.
Sakpan.
Hindi ako mainig tuba, buoy ang manok sa silingan.
Ayay ka diya.
Ang papa ni June, si Manong Ansong, ang iyang mama, si Manong Jaka, they were like our parents too. Pero buhulan mo sila. So buutan kayo, wala makasawag mo, maski sumagod mo, magareglo laman sa ano.
Lamano lamang sa
Happy
no.
to see you here. My dear friends, let me congratulate you on the occasion of the 70th Foundation Anniversary of the Mountain of College. And let me congratulate the college for producing illustrious graduates who have excelled in different fields of endeavors. And I was told by Ambassador Tejano that many of your graduates actually have served all over the world, not only as educators, but as preachers of the Word of God also. I would like to inform you that just as Ambassador Tejano earlier said, we are actually now, even in my capacity as chairman of the Regional Development Authority, we are actually actively involved in the effort to help Papua New Guinea develop their rice industry. This is something that I started when I was Secretary of Agriculture. Many people do not understand this, but we are growing, our population is growing at a rate of 1.2%, 1.7% per year. We are now 108 million. we only have a land area of 30 million hectares. So one of the first innovations that I did when I was Secretary of Agriculture was to ask the Food and Agriculture Organization to conduct a study, which is now ongoing. The study is called National Food Consumption Quantification Study. I asked FAO, can you conduct a study for us, which will tell us how much food and what kind of food do Filipinos eat today? How much of this food, given the population growth, would be consumed by this country 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now? And initially, when I was given the data, I was so scared. Because at the rate we are growing now, with a finite land area of 30 million hectares, there will come a time in the life of this nation that our land and our water resources will no longer be able to produce the food that our children and our grandchildren would need in the future. And so because of this, I came up with a proposal which was anchored on the idea presented to me by Ambassador Tejada. The time has come for us now to project our food consumption and where we will source our food 10, 20, 30 years from now. We have to conduct the study now and we have to start the effort now. So we looked at prospects. And one of the brightest prospects that we found out, that we discovered, was Papua New Guinea. Why Papua New Guinea? You know, Papua New Guinea only has a population of 8 million. And they have a land area of 46 million hectares. Basically, it's a vast area that has not been developed. And for so many years, the people of New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, were made to believe that they could not plant rice. The Australians told them, no, you cannot grow rice, just buy rice from us. But the Australians actually were importing rice from Vietnam, transshipped to Australia and shipped to Papua New Guinea as Australian rice. And the price is ridiculous. It's about 100 pesos per kilo. Kung dili pa to sa ato, nagrevolusyon na. Masuko, magaling tao 50 kilos bukas. Kung saan naka 100. So, for so long, the people of Papua New Guinea thought that they could not plant rice until this very persistent ambassador came to me and said, Mr. Secretary, can you prove to them that rice could be planted in Papua New Guinea? I said, yes. And so, with the help of the Pacific Adventist University, PAU, we started with a demonstration farm, a rice demonstration farm in Papua New Guinea. And you know what? While our average production in the Philippines is only about 4 metric tons per hectare per harvest, the demo farm that we started in Papua New Guinea, on the first harvest, produced an average of 8.6 metric tons per hectare per harvest.
Times 2.
You know, I was surprised. I asked the experts, because we involved field rice. Sabi ko, why is that? And you know what we discovered? In the Philippines, the average tillers, you know what tillers are? Atong saha. The average saha of one hill of rice planted in the paddy field is about 25 to 30 average tillers. What we discovered in Papua New Guinea was its hill of palay planted in Papua New Guinea had about 50 to 60 tillers. And so I started asking
Pag-harvest ay sa
why.
kapuno is kagantang.
I used to sit as member of the board of the International Rice Research Institute. And in one session, one of the scientists was presenting the new crossbreeding that they were doing on rice. So he explained, he said, we are now crossbreeding PNG XXX times XXX numbers. So I said, excuse me, doctor, what does PNG stand for? He said, Papua New Guinea. He said, but they don't grow rice there. No, he said, Mr. Secretary. Papua New Guinea is one of the 2 countries in the world which has the most number of wild rice varieties. The other one is Indonesia. And so for so long, these people who control Papua New Guinea for so many years wanted to perpetuate the absence or the lack of knowledge of the people of Papua New Guinea on or to the fact that they could grow rice because rice is endemic in Papua New Guinea. That's the story of the undertaking that Ambassador Tejano and I did in Papua New Guinea. My dear friends, earlier Ambassador Tejano announced that after 3 years, I tendered my resignation as Secretary of Agriculture of the Philippines. I don't want to discuss this in public, actually, but in context, I will just give you the context of the reasons behind my decision to leave the Department of Agriculture. Early on, I told the farmers and the stakeholders in the country, because I would travel around the country. I said, when the time comes that I could no longer defend you or protect you, I will resign as Secretary of Agriculture. When the economic managers decided to open up the rice market and flood it with imported rice to the detriment of the Philippine rice farmers, and my voice was a voice in the wilderness, I said, it's time to leave. So I wanted to leave. I wanted to go back to private life. But the president said, by the way, the president is a close friend. The president told me, you stay. Can you handle Mindanao Development Authority? I said, okay. I'll hang on for the next 3 years. But the problem is, the position of Minda chair has a fixed term of 6 years. So I will be around when they're already gone. They will be gone. But the good thing about that is there will be continuity in the programs and projects that we'll be implementing. So right now, we have identified several basic programs that we are implementing for Mindanao. Yesterday, kahapon, I had a meeting with Secretary Eduardo Anyo of DILG, and we talked about providing villages with water. You know, when I assumed office as Minda chair, ang daming malalaking proyekto. Mindanao Railway Program, free port, economic zone, big airports, railway. Pero sabi ko, teka muna. We have big projects. But the railway, for example, if we complete the construction of the railway, what goods do we transport from where to where? Ang ibig sabihin, sabi ko, teka muna, balik muna tayo sa basic. Do we have the foundation that would support such ambitious projects? Kasi kung ang train mo, tatakbo-takbo, walang karga, ano kabuluhan mo? So balik tayo sa basic. Meron ba tayong kumpleto ba yung tubig sa mga barangay? Meron ba maiinom ng tubig yung mga tao natin? You know, at this age, at this time, at this period, in the history of our nation, ang dami pang mga barangay ang walang tubig na mainom ang ating mga tao. Very basic. Very basic. Until today, marami pang mga barangay ang walang kalsada at walang tulay man lang na maiksi para maitawid yung mga produkto. You know, I love the Build program. I love it. Great. But you see, I've been telling them, ano ang kabuluhan ng malalawak na kalsada, malalapad na kalsada, if you do not have the small roads leading to the production area. Because without the production of commodities, ano ang kabuluhan ng malalawak na kalsada? So I said, let's go back to the basic. Dapat lahat ng barangay connected sa kalsada. Dapat lahat ng food production area may kalsada, may tulay. Ang problema sa atin, napakalalapad ng ating mga kalsada, pero wala tayong mga barangay roads. Wala tayong tulay na maliliit na maitawid yung mga produkto. Kaya nga sabi ng may joke ko dito sa atin daw, sa Japan daw, mabilis ang repair ng kalsada. 2 days, repair ng kalsada. Sabi ng Amerikano, oh, we're faster. Overnight, we can repair our roads. Sabi ng Pilipino, oh, we're faster. Hindi pa sila yung kalsada namin, pinapakpakan namin, nire-repair namin. I don't understand it actually. Hindi pa naman sila. Bakit babakpakin na naman, papalitan na naman bako semento? Yun ang mura po nag-istorya sa pulis pa. Sabi nila sa Amerika daw, ang bilis ng police response. In matter of 10 to 15 minutes, the police will be around to respond. Sa Japan daw, 5 minutes. Sa Pilipinas daw, wala pa'y krimen na ng pulis, kaya ang pulis ang kahibong krimen. Ay, kasi may pulis niya. And so a farmer planting corn using a shovel. Kasi ito ka na, una, pisaw sa ilong mo, pisaw. So he was planting corn. I was wearing short pants because I love mountain climbing. So I was wearing short pants. And I told him, Nano, may gamit mo, why are you using a shovel in planting corn? And he told me, Sir, because he did not recognize that first, sir, I don't have a carabao. I said, so what do you have here? He said, I have a few chicken and 2 goats. Okay, sir. If you give me your goats, I will give you 1 carabao, a plow, and a bag of horses. He looked at me and said, are you crazy? I said, no, I'm your governor. Oh, sir, Mr. Governor. So I made it. I did it. I took his goats, but a week later, I sent him a carabao. Kompleto. Daro, may plow, may yuko, may gikos. Kompleto. May isang kasakong mais o kabuno. Kompleto. And I remember the name of the guy. His name was Arnaldo Berbere. So after about a year and a half, I forgot about him. And then I went back to the village. While I was coming down from my vehicle, this guy, well dressed, because the first time I saw him, naka-short pants o gisik-gisik. Ang t-shirt, hugaw, gisik-gisik hapon. But this time around, he was already wearing a boxer. And he was rushing to me. And he embraced me and he cried. He said, Mr. Governor, salamat sa kabaw ipadala mo sa ako. Karon, nakapalit akong balay diri sa barangay. Na ako'y lote diri. Napa-eskwela na ako akong mga anak. He was crying. Napa-eskwela ako ng mga bata ko. Pagkaroon ng bagong kinuwi ko. Tungod lang sa karabaw ang inhatag. Tungod lang. All because of that karabaw. You know, I also shed a tear. I cried. But my tears was not meant for him. It was meant for the other poor farmers out there in the hinterlands of this country who are still waiting for that day, for that morning in their life, when a government official like me would walk an extra kilometer, climb a hill, and discover whether they're living a life that's fulfilled, or they need services from government. My dear friends, until today, so many Filipinos still dream of that day when a government official or when government would tap their shoulders and say, hey, today your life will change. And that is why since that day, I have never stopped traveling. That is my advocacy. I move around. I travel a lot. I've been to Tawi-Tawi, I've been to Batanes, I've been to Pampanas, I've been to almost all parts of this country. And in one of my sorties actually, dito sa mga travels ko na ito, dito ko rin nagagawa yung mga programa. In one travel that I did in Apari, Cagayan, even before I could assume office as Secretary of Agriculture, this was in May of 2016. Nakita ko yung the irony of life in this country. Yung sabi nila sa Cebuano, galantaw sa linaw apan giuhaw. You know that? You know that idiom? Looking at the lake, but the man is thirsty. Ibig sabihin, right in front of him is water, but he thirsts. This was what I saw in Apari, Cagayan. You know, the mouth of the river, Cagayan River, is so wide. But Apari, which is just beside the mouth of the Grand Cagayan River, does not have irrigation systems because the bank of the river is deep and the water would not be drawn to irrigate the farms. So I said, what could be done about this? And I remember, may kaibigan ako sa Coachella Valley in Southern California. In the middle of the desert, he has a tilapia fish pond. And he draws water from about 1,000 feet below the ground using solar-powered irrigation. And so when I remember that, I said, can you build a solar irrigation system for me? My dear friends, with that idea, we started what is now called as the Solar-Powered Irrigation System Project in the Philippines. Let me show you one example of this project that we built in just 3 months. And it changed the lives of farmers
3 to 6 months lagi, ma'am. 3 to 6 months.
In the province of North Cotabato. Actually, the farmers in that area, Barangay Manubuan, had been asking for water for so long. They were only producing 3 metric tons once a year. Ginawa namin sila ng solar-powered irrigation system and their lives changed. Because there are 3 basic factors in agriculture actually. Land, sunlight, and water. Yun lang naman eh. Huwag na tayo masyadong complicated. Simple lang ang agriculture. Yung sinasabi ng new paradigm. Walang bagong paradigm sa agriculture. 3 lang kailangan mo. Tubig, lupa, sa sunlight. Yun lang kailangan mo. But without water, you can do nothing. Okay? Let me show you this solar-powered irrigation system that we built. Okay? So, may creek sa gilid, hindi makaakyat dahil mababa yung tubig. So, ginawa namin, gumawa kami ng reservoir, naglagay kami ng solar panels, it powered a 25 horsepower water pump. And it drew water from the creek, deposited it in the reservoir, and then it was distributed to the rice field using pipes, hindi na open canal. So walang leakage, walang seepage, walang agawan ng tubig. And the beauty of this is with this technology now, we can use what the Israelis call fertigation technology, where you could fertilize without broadcasting it anymore. You just mix it with the water and the fertilizer will flow to the field through the water. So ito ang ginawa natin dito. Makikita nyo, very efficient, 3 buwan lang tapos. Today, the farmers of this area are now harvesting twice a year, and their average harvest is up from 3 metric tons to 6 metric tons. Now, this is the essence of what we will do in the Meet the Water program. 3 package. One for the remote islands of Mindanao and Palawan, we will put up desalination plants using solar power, where we will process salt water into drinking water. Ang dami nating mga communities sa mga isla na walang tubig, ulan lang ang inaasahan. That's one. The other is the combo, both for drinking and small irrigation. Kasi marami tayong mga barangay walang tubig. So kung may mag-drill tayo ng tubig using solar power, makapag-irrigate sila, and then yung, of course, malinis, may mainom sila. That will reduce health problems. And the third, of course, is the solar power irrigation system. You know how much this costs? It's only about 6.57 million, and it could irrigate 100 hectares. Ganun kababa ang cost, and very efficient. Okay? So, that's one of our programs right now. The other program is the President's Rural Roads and Bridges Program. Okay? Ito, simple lang. I have always believed that productivity depends on the marketability of the produce of the farmer. Kapag hindi na ibenta ng farmer yung produkto niya, hindi magtatanim niya. At kapag hindi niya na-transport yung kanyang produkto from the farm to the nearest market, hindi magtatanim niya. So, the President's Rural Roads and Bridges Program will do just that, build small roads and bridges connecting the production areas to the main roads. Basic foundations of the economy of Mindanao. My dear friends, some people ask, why am I able to come up with ideas like this? It's because I always move around, I listen to the voice of the people, I feel their pulse, and in the process, I'm able to come up with programs that really respond to the needs of the people. But more than that, I am inspired by the thought that by doing this, I'm serving the Lord.
Amen.
I don't know if some of you will remember, in 1998 to 1999, when I became governor of North Cotabato, I was the only Mindanao governor who stood firm against the movements of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and others. Ako po yung tumayo. I was the guy who went to the Supreme Court and questioned the Memorandum of Agreement on Ancestral Domains, which could have created an almost independent state in Mindanao. What we have now is the BARM, which is a better version, a result of thorough consultations. And we're supporting that. But before, it was a unilateral move on the part of the national government and the MILF leadership then to come up with an agreement without consulting us in North Cotabato. So I was their target. And one day, I have this program, I have this radio program every Wednesday. It's called Paringo, where I broadcast what I do. And one day, may dumating na dalawang tao sa radio station. Nagtanong, darating ba si Governor Piñol? Sabi ng security, yes, he will be here at 12. And they left. Short while later, the driver of the pickup of that station, DXD, parked his vehicle beside the announcer's booth. Beside the announcer's booth, there was, a row of flowers, santan hedges, heads of santan flowers. But on that day, the driver noticed that among the santan flowers was a lone tomato plant that had red, ripe fruits. So his attention was caught by the red fruits of the tomato. So he went down and started picking the red, ripe fruits of the tomato. And then he saw a bag tucked underneath the santan hedges. It was a black bag. So he was surprised. Sabi niya, ano to? He felt the bag. Hinipon niya yung bag and naramdaman niya matigas. At that time, puso ang bombing. So he called the announcer and said, Villamor, ano ba? Limor, may bag dito na itim. Ano kaya to? So they called the EOD and the K9 unit. And when the dog arrived, the sniffing dogs arrived, after sniffing the bag, he just sat there, meaning it was a bomb. Indeed, it was a bag full of bombs. Time to explode at 12 noon at the time that I would be there. It was discovered simply because of the red ripe tomato. Initially, I did not actually get the meaning of all of those until that night when I went home and I raised my head and told the Lord, Lord, I'm sorry, I did not get your message. It was then when I realized that the Lord showed me a miracle on that day. Who would have created that perfect timing? With the red ripe fruit of the tomatoes, the attention of the driver was caught. And it was because of that the bag was discovered and the bombing was prevented. Who could have done such perfect timing? And so until today, I call that incident in my life as the miracle of the red tomato. And that incident, my dear friends, is what keeps me going. This is my way of showing the Lord that I care for His people. And if in the process of doing this, I will have to sacrifice a little comfort, a little convenience, my time for my family, I will do. Kulang pa itong ginagawa. But this is my commitment.